Hey, I made a rebalance. It is better than any other rebalance. It even says in the name, woohoo! Download it, pop it in, and enjoy it without the need for a matchmaking key or a separate save file. In fact, I tested most of these rebalance in public lobbies. 99% of the features work for clients, so download it right now for free. That's right, for free. You may or may not be surprised why this thing even exists. The gist is, the current environment is insufferable, and most people that want to remedy it out of the love they have for this game end up overcomplicating things to the point that the game becomes unrecognizable. I'm not judging people that do this. They wouldn't have put time and effort to adjust every single thing individually if they didn't care. However, there's an obvious truth that mostly gets ignored in favor of actually making the game decent. The truth is that most people like vanilla Payday 2 and just want the game to be less cancer. These people have nowhere to go aside from throwing the towel and making their own rebalance mods or quitting the game. Yeah, I see the irony here, no need to point it out. While it is true that some aspects of the game are definitely improved with the updates and such, they butchered the rest of them and introduced more problems. And I'm being generous here. Replacing a square wheel with a triangle isn't something people would call improvement. Worst of all, most people can't even identify the issues this game faces or even understand what should be appropriate for the vanilla game. Every change and their reasons are listed on the mod page, so I suggest checking those out. I tried to explain every decision, but it ended up being an hour-long recording. While I do enjoy being a pedantic nerd, 54 minutes of explaining why something is wrong and why it changed as a result felt too fingering my own dick, so to speak. Yes, I am an attention whore and a narcissistic asshole, but I think I at least know where to draw the line. But every change is made for a reason, polishing what base game already has. Yes, I felt like I had to do this cause Starbreeze sure as shit isn't gonna do it. They added Leech. That alone should make it clear that they care very little about whatever is left of this game's hammered and broken integrity. That's on top of weird stylistic choices on new content and just killing the remaining of the game's established art style. And no, only thing we touched was gameplay, and even then, all we did is just to address the base game's issues when it comes to player side. What we did is just bare minimum work that Starbreeze should have done. Yes, for a mod that touches 80% of the perk text and the bulk of the weaponry with slight touches, this mod is less than 1 MB. I don't want to rant about Starbreeze's signature incompetence at this stage, so I'm just gonna list some of the player side problems. Not enemy side, which didn't change. Reasons are on the mod page if you want to read that manifesto. For perk text, there are a few core issues. Categories are vague and don't make any sense with the way the game is played. Power gap between them are comical and some of them don't even function. We addressed all of that, but not in the way you think it is. The current Payday 2 perk text sandbox, as unbalanced as is, offers players a type of dynamic difficulty option inside the difficulties, and proper balancing of all of these options would inherently make the game less interesting. Which perk deck you use is a form of player expression, and perfectly balancing all of them takes away this aspect of it. So what we did is just buff the weaker ones slightly and nerf the strong ones slightly and make some of them more functional and less redundant. Power level of the perk text didn't change at all. Weapons also change, and if I'm being honest, most of their issues comes from damage range multipliers. Don't get the wrong idea. Damage range multipliers is not a bad system. It is an amazing system actually. But the way that Starbreeze used them is abysmal though. For a while, I have been in favor of deleting this system altogether, simply because they are just refusing to use this system in an intelligent manner, and all the while making new DLC guns that just avoid this system they put in place. If you're gonna do fuck all with it, might as well remove it and gain some favor. I hope I was able to address the bulk of the problems that comes from the improper use of this system by making more sensible presets. Like currently, shotguns have infinite range in this game, which wasn't the case before this system. The current system is capable for much more, yet they just go, yeah, let's reduce the shotgun's close range capabilities but give them infinite range. If we do this, we can make new DLC guns with higher damages that people can use it with Flechette and get a better performance that they ever been able to. What a fucking deal, boys. We're gonna be able to pay the bills this month. When I make a build with a shotgun and tell people how OP it is, people think I'm trolling since most people genuinely don't know or understand that shotguns unironically have infinite range. They put 0.5 damage multiplier on a 40 damage gun. Vanilla game's bloated health pools means you will never be able to deal half the damage since graduality will refuse to do damage that low. All we ever asked as a community is just to polish what we already have, yet they failed at this in most places. Most weapons that have fall-off are adjusted to fit into their roles and balance them as a result. There are a few more adjustments to guns, but honestly, I did those because I was bored and wanted to add some extra flair. The game still feels and plays like vanilla game, but with much needed adjustments and improvements to perk decks and some of the most problematic parts of players' arsenals. That's literally it. Suggestions and feedback are welcome. Please read the disclosed and ongoing plans section before you post anything. If you think I made a gun OP or something, drop the suggestions and reasons for why I done goofed in that scenario. If you're gonna complain about something, you should at least say what can be done about it. Simple as that. If you crash, drop the changelog to the mod page and it will get addressed when possible. And remember, 2 people made this mod, Rokimoto and I. I designed the changes, made the weapon stuff, and Rocky made the perk decks to my wishes and put everything together. As a result, the response you get may end up being slow. Additional credits are in the mod page, and the only reason I am not giving credit to people that contributed in some way in this video by saying their names out loud is the simple fact that more people will end up contributing in some ways as the time goes on. Hence why I wasn't specific on what actually get changed, since once you make a video and publish it, you can't edit it. Either read the mod page or pop the mod in and try to spot the differences. Either way, I can assure you, you're gonna have a better time with the vanilla game. I'm not saying this because the mod literally makes the game better because I made it or something. I'm saying this because it is not hard to improve on garbage. Hell, if you haven't figured it out, even the mod's name is supposed to be a half joke. Let's face it, we are just 2 people that are 8 hours apart, yet we were able to do bulk of the changes in a week. The second week are just the polishing and ironing out the problems. And no one can claim that we know what we are doing. We're just 2 bros with a habit of playing this game and touching grass. Still, I'm proud of this mod. I think a lightweight mod that just polished up the base game's player-side problems was long overdue, and now it is here for those that seek it. I will personally use this mod whenever I end up playing this game from now on. Enjoy it, folks, and stay safe, and I wish you a very pleasant evening.